Well, my friends, thanks for coming. I want to talk about how our past lives arc off the one that we think we're having now. I've always heard that all of our lifetimes are simultaneous, but I've never understood that. I do now. And I hope I can explain it to you. This might take more than one video because I don't like to make very long videos for people. The first hint that lifetimes are simultaneous was back when I was in my early 30s and I was just starting to do mediumship for people. And I started with friends that would ask me to work, and I would see whether the work was valid or not. I had a wonderful friend. She's a wonderful friend today. We're still good buddies. Their first son exhibited very bizarre behavior traits. They were even advised to put their son on medication. But they lived on a farm with animals, organic vegetables, free spirited, free thinking people. I mean, there was no way they were going to medicate their son. So they reached out to me at one point and said, "Can you find out what is going on with him?" So I dialed up in a meditation, and the information that came through was that he had lived on a farm in the Midwest in his last lifetime, but he was tortured to death or killed very badly and had a very bad death when he was a little boy. And after he died, he wanted to come back in very quickly because he very much wanted to be alive at this time in history. And so he didn't take a lot of time to heal. He just turned around and found an opportunity, or was offered the opportunity, or discovered the opportunity, however it works, to come into the couple that are my friends. And I remember walking into their kitchen once, and I think he was about 6 at that point. And I said hello to him. I greeted him because, they were friends. We were in and out of each other's houses. And he looked at me and he screamed, "Don't look at me." And that's when I saw really for myself how disturbed he was. But it came through in the meditation that when he got beyond the age that he died in the last lifetime, that he would turn around and be the incredible child that both nature and nurture he should have been in the first place. And that's exactly what happened. When he was about 8, he did a 180. And I know him today as a very accomplished, very compassionate man. So then after I did that, his mother said, "Can you help me? I've had these nightmares, recurring nightmares, where I'm burning to death and I can't get out of a building." She said, "It terrifies me because I don't know whether this is something that's going to happen. I don't know why. It's a recurring nightmare." So I dialed up in meditation and I asked for Mary what was going on. Why was she having this nightmare? And as it turned out, she had been a contemplative or a nun in an order, probably in Europe. That's what it felt like. And the what would you call it, where nuns live? Oh, I should have looked that up beforehand. But where they lived was a combination of stone and wood, and it didn't have many entrances or exits, but it did have a lot of corridors. And so as the wood was burning and collapsing, a lot of them were trapped inside. and again had horrible deaths. So I told her this. I said, this is not in front of you. This is behind you, as it is with your son. This is behind you, not in front of you. Because at the time, I was thinking that lifetimes were sequential. But now I understand that they're simultaneous and they all arc off each other. Now, there's a lot to explain with this, but I'm sure you've heard from other psychics that all of our lifetimes are simultaneous. And it's very hard to wrap our head around that, right? So when I first laid eyes on my current husband, I knew he was somebody to me. I had no doubt about it. In fact, had my parents not moved us to New Hampshire, I would not have met him at all. And as it turns out, we have, I have to say, present a lot of expressions of experience together. We're well aware of these because the way I came on to him was to talk him into doing past life regression with a local psychic. And I went to a different psychic and I had a past life regression. We saw 6 lifetimes where we were together. He had one in the Civil War that I wasn't in. And at that time, I had a very brief lifetime as a Native American child in the Southwest. But there were so many where we were together, it was beyond belief. So as we compared notes, it became obvious why I would recognize him. And I had to stalk him for 22 years before he came back to me and said, you know, I think you are the one. So to be continued, I'm going to leave that off here because I don't like these to be really long. And I'm going to launch into how my husband and my past lives arc into our current lifetime. And seeing that has made me understand how not only are they all happening at, because I can't say the same time, because in our frame of reference, they're not happening at the same time. But in an other frame of reference, they are. And as we start to piece together the lifetimes and our learning in this lifetime, both separately and together, we can see the influence of the other lifetimes in this one and how we are resolving some of the challenges of the other lifetimes in this lifetime. And so we are having an effect on these simultaneous lifetimes or these other lifetimes. We're changing their experience. We're changing our experience in different scenarios, different expressions of ourselves. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about that some more. All right. So until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed. And thanks for coming.